Hi angels and welcome. I'm your host Lisa Everding, founder of Earthy Angels, and I'm on a mission to empower women to live authentically and to take exquisite care of themselves. You can find us on earthyangels.com or head over to our show notes to follow us on socials. Okay, girls, Pilates makes you feel incredible. I am on such a Pilates high at the moment, and I'm going to dive into this episode sharing the experiences from clients about the impact movement has on their state, but also I'll be diving deeper into the energetics of movement, how it affects your mood, how it affects your state, how it affects your energy, and how that relates to rippling out into all areas of your life and attracting more of what your heart and soul desires into your life. So it goes way deeper than exercise. But anyway, let's dive in and I'll share with you. I just need to start this morning by saying Pilates makes you happy, whether that's Pilates or yoga or exercise, but I'm going to roll with Pilates for now because I have just finished a Pilates class and I went into the service station, fueled up, and as I've walked in, the girl behind the counter, she said to me, she goes, "Wow, you're glowing this morning. You look amazing. You just got this radiance about you." I said, "I know, it's my Pilates. I just taught a Pilates class and I'm feeling really great." She goes, "Oh, I can see it. The moment you walked in the doors, I could just see it." And we just got chatting about classes and exercise and stuff and energy. And I was chatting with one of my girls in class and she was saying, she goes, "I come to your class the other day, I did Pilates, and then I listened to," actually I can't remember if it was my class or Steph's class. It doesn't matter. All the teachers are amazing. And she said, "And I did the class and then I went and listened to your podcast." And she goes, "I was just buzzing all day. The girls in the office, in the workplace commented about how happy I was and how much energy I had." And she goes, "I know it come from class and from listening to the podcast." And I had another lady say to me during the week that her husband said to her, "You're so happy today." And she goes, "I know, it's because I started my day with Pilates," and she's a brand new member. And she goes, "It just made me feel so good. All Saturday, I felt so happy. My kids were happier. I was less reactive. I was calmer. I just felt on this high." And that is what today is all about, is about how amazing Pilates makes you feel. And yeah, I can do a whole podcast on this. You just watch me. But it goes deeper than just Pilates, whether it's Pilates, whether it is yoga Lattes. I do a class, we blend them both together. Whether it is just exercise, it has a way of uplifting your energy and setting up your day. It is so incredibly powerful. And I thought I'm just going to jump on and have a little chat with you guys about how this movement affects your energy, how it can carry out into your whole day and just shift the way you show up during the day. And also with my, you know what one of my clients said to me, she also said, the same client, she goes, "I'm loving your podcast. I have just been listening to it all the time and it's the best podcast I've ever listened to." My first thought was she doesn't listen to many podcasts, but no, just kidding. And I did have to accept, I accepted the compliment. I actually got in my car and had tears in my eyes, just feeling so proud of myself and feeling so happy that I am just sharing my energy into what I'm teaching. And my goal of this is to help inspire people outside the studio, to help uplift people, to help shift people's perspective, to help you feel better, to help you become more inspired or motivated, or give you a spark of something that might change the course correct your life and really help you outside the mat. And for me to hear that from her, I was just overcome with emotion, but just joy. It made me feel so good. And it was like my vision for what I'm pouring into the microphone, and I use a lot of hands when I speak as well, like I'm pouring my energy into you guys, just made my heart so happy. It made me feel so I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed now. It made me feel really, really grateful that I can have that effect. And I've been having a lot of messages this last week as the podcast is sort of really starting to get out there, from people who have just saying, like, just listening to one of your episodes, like number 1 about base camp. I've had a couple of people say that to me actually this week, about how I had the courage to change my plans and say no to something, and I felt guilty for saying no. And it just gives people permission and awareness to go, I actually do that. I'm such a people pleaser. And you've inspired me to go, I need to listen to myself a little bit more. So in my sharing my stories, this is not about me, it's about you and what you take out of it. But I teach from experience. And like my massage therapist, Jen, said to me, she said, people love hearing people's stories because it inspires them, it uplifts them, it gives them something else to think about or a different way to look at things. So hearing feedback like that just makes me so happy that you guys are taking something out of it. And I just have so much joy and energy this morning that I hope I'm pouring through into the microphone. That is my intention. That is what I'm sending to you, so much uplifting energy. And I want to really inspire you, because some of you will already be members of mine and moving your body. Some of you might be exercising somewhere else. Some of you might not be exercising at all. And that's okay. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. I want to leave you today with the wisdom that moving your body makes you feel so amazing and makes you feel so happy. And it can just shift your energy by just simply turning up to a class or going for a walk or doing some kind of workout for you. It has a way of really shifting your energy. But what I have noticed and what I'm going to talk about is, because this is my world at the moment, is yoga and Pilates. And I have been exercising for many years. In my 20s, I had my daughter at 25, so I was kind of pregnant at 25. I was pregnant, and for a few years before that, I'd been doing yoga since I was about 20. And then after I had Riley, I really dove into consistent exercise, and I can hand on my heart tell you, I've been doing consistent exercise for, she's like 20 now, so 20 years. And there have been times that I, obviously I still exercised pretty much right the way through my pregnancy. I just tweaked what I was doing. And then you have that little bit of time off with Barb. And then I got back into my walking, and then I got into the gym. I would take the kids with me after I had Brock, I would take the kids with me when they were little to creche. And that was scary for me because I never put my kids in daycare ever. I was a stay-at-home mum. So it was really scary for me to do that. But it was just an hour and I was comfortable with that, and I was close by. And so 20 years I have been doing some kind of exercise. I stopped when, periodically when I've had kids, if I've gone on holidays, depending how long I'm away for, what mood I'm in. Sometimes I might have a whole week off, or sometimes I will hit the gym or do some practice on my veranda of my hotel room or down on the beach or something. It's all different. So I just feel into what I need at the moment. But 20 years, right? I have been doing some form of exercise. It has changed over the years. It has always incorporated yoga, definitely always incorporated yoga. And I have been doing, I was doing personal training, group fitness at the gym. So a lot of weights and things like that as well, classes, you name it, I've done it, all sorts of different things, spin classes, whole heaps of different things. Did a period of swimming, just loved it. So lots of different things all the time. And because it made me feel good, it made me a happier mom. It made me feel better in myself, which then impacts your relationship. It impacts your sex life. It impacts your energy of how you feel in yourself. It affects your confidence. It affects the way you feel when you put clothes on. It affects the energy that you can have this fitness that you're running around with the kids. That's why I kept up with my exercise, to be perfectly honest, was I wanted to have energy to keep up with my kids. We love traveling. We've done lots of travel, lots of adventure stuff over the years. And I wanted energy to get me through life, to have the most amazing life experience. But I wanted to be able to push my kids up and down that flying fox at the local park and ride bikes with them and do all the fun stuff with them. And I remember one day we rode down to our jet skis. We jumped on the ski and went down to Aquasplash. It's like a big amusement park on, like on water, the inflatables where you're running things, you're jumping, there's trampolines, all that stuff. And you have to be so fit as a parent running around with your kids to climb up when you fall in the water, to climb up. And I never forget seeing a lady. This is when my kids were younger, and she was a bigger lady, and she fell in the water and she was trying to get back up and she couldn't. And you have to stay in a certain distance with your kids, like I can't remember, a few meters. You have to be close to your kids when they're younger. And I offered my hand to help her up, and she wouldn't take it because of whether it was, like that feeling of, I don't need help, I don't want help, or embarrassment. I respected that and left her. And the look in her child's face was like, come on, mum, let's kind of go. And you could just see that she just felt really disappointed or upset, or whatever emotion. I could just feel that energy shift in her change. And that was like how you just have some little turning points in your life. And my kids were younger then, and I'm like, I just need to stay fit and healthy. And it's not about size. It's not about anything like that. It's about, I want energy to be able to keep up with my kids. And so that's what spurred me to keep up with my exercise for, I'm 45 now, for as long as I have been doing it. And my exercise has changed over the years because, like your bodies change, what you want to do changes, your interest changes, you might have injuries, you might be pre-pregnant, post-pregnant, like there's always stuff going on. So I don't believe that you need to get sold in or locked into one thing forever. I think it's an important quality to have, the quality of adaptation, to be able to adapt and to be able to not be so restricted and controlled to, this is the only way I'm going to get fit. This is the only method that works, because that's life, my friends. Like, we have ebbs and flows. We have, like, we're constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly growing. Life shifts. It's always, nothing stays the same. Nothing stays stagnant. It's forever changing. So the more we can be flexible and adapt with that, the easier it is basically to get through life and get through the changes. So over the years, like I was one of the hardcore at the gym, box jumps, like all the hard stuff. Give me the hard stuff. That's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to go into a yoga class. I wanted to stand on my head, like all the hard stuff. That's kind of where I was at. Then over the years, I started to soften. And I've really seen the duality of both. Like, I still love a great workout, but I still really I want to lay in restorative yoga and just really be loving on my body, be soft and gentle towards my body, to be so slow. I really love both. I still love both. So I guess my point in that is there's no right or wrong. It's what you need at the moment. And so over the years, I brought more Pilates into my practice. And then I found, I just got to a point, I guess, I fell more in love with yoga and Pilates and the way it made me feel holistically, from the perspective of, I felt strong in my body, I felt fit in my body, but it also offered me the balance of, I felt flexible. I felt this freedom in my spine. I felt this, I could twist, I could move, I could really touch my toes, I could fold in half, and I just felt so limber. And I go, this feels great. Like, I've had years of smashing myself at the gym, which I loved, but I also found my body was tight. Like, I felt my shoulders were that little bit more hunched over slightly. Whereas with Pilates, it lengthens you, it elongates you, it gets this beautiful length in your posture, and you just carry yourself differently, that I just started to gravitate more towards that than what I was doing in the gym. And that's when I kind of transitioned out of my group fitness and PT into the yoga studio, because I couldn't teach something that I wasn't fully in love with anymore, or that I wasn't fully doing myself. And so I just found that I started to love the way yoga and Pilates made me feel, not only in my body, but it was low intense. I hit a point, I'm like, I just don't want to flog myself anymore. I don't want to, I don't want that high impact on my joints. And it doesn't matter what age this is. This was not an age thing. Like, this was just not, I'm getting close to my, 40s that I need to change what I'm doing, but it can be. But it was also the way that, the energy of yoga and Pilates made me feel different, because it really connected you with your soul. It wasn't like a distraction. Sometimes you can go and do a workout and you put on your headphones, or you're completely distracted. Yoga and Pilates had a way of bringing me back into myself. It had a way of awakening this connection to my soul. It had a way of, I'm going, oh my gosh, I can really feel my body in a different way. I'm connected more with my lefts, with my rights, with the sensations in my body, that I started to really feel more accepting of myself. It helped me to love on myself a little bit more. It helped me to really just feel so connected, and I could recognize the signals more from my body. And it just changed the way I viewed exercise, and it changed the way I viewed myself, and it changed the way it empowered this connection with my soul. And it made me start to really open myself up to look at the person I am, to look at what makes me happy, to look at all different areas of my life. It had this element of body, mind, soul, and breath, and bringing me together in this holistic state, that I just naturally gravitated more towards it. And I started to notice that when I would finish this practice, I would go, I don't feel depleted. I don't feel like I'm so flogged that I felt like borderline spewing, or I'm so worn out that I really, like I need a rest after that workout. And some of my classes you do, some of my classes are quite challenging. I have many clients that will vouch for that, but I just felt that it left me feeling, because we end in this relaxation, we end in Shavasana, we end all of our classes in connection. I felt like I floated out. So I felt happier, like a different kind of a happiness. I felt more of a connection within this happiness, a connection to myself, that it just uplifted me for my whole day. And it is just a different kind of happiness, where you're happy from your soul, if that makes sense. It's like your soul is just radiating out into the world. So it made me really recognize this difference with my energy and how I felt after doing yoga and Pilates, that I just fell in love with it. And I'm like, that's predominantly what I want to do. And I started to notice it ripple out into all areas of my life. I was calmer at home, because we would have this bit of relaxation at the end, that when I was coming home, I was like just so much more peaceful. I was less reactive. I could still have a hard workout. Like, trust me, I could still, give you a really challenging workout in class. But then that shift of energy of bringing you back into connection and relaxation made me feel this energetic high, but it also balanced me out with feeling this calm and peace and connection, so that I noticed in my days I was less reactive. People didn't annoy me as much. Not that people annoy me too much, but you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't react to things if I could sense a little bit of irritability in people, or if I could sense like like the kids would sometimes annoy us, as they have a habit of doing. I wasn't as reactive with my kids and with my household. It just carried a different energy in my household. And I went, I'm actually a lot more peaceful. I'm a lot more calmer. I'm a happier mom. And it really shifted my energy as as a mother. And it shifted my energy in my relationship so that I just found the whole dynamics of the household started to change. And don't get me wrong, like they're not perfect all the time. There are still times that I would, like lose it at the kids or get irritated. I'm not saying I lived in this perfect bubble, but actually my husband told me, you live in a bubble. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he would say to me after I really got into this practice full time, he goes, you live in a bubble. And I said, I know, you should get in my bubble. You should have your own bubble. Don't burst my bubble. So it became this bit of a running joke, because it does impact you in so many different areas of your life. So this movement goes deeper than just turning up for an exercise class and feeling great after exercise. And I know other forms of exercise definitely make you feel amazing as well. I'm not discounting any other form of exercise. I'm just saying that this has that different element to it with your soul, with your connection, that it just brings this different radiation of energy into your everyday life that you can't help feeling happier. And I've been reading this book. I'm in love with this book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It's called The Untethered Soul. I'm going to read you a tiny bit out of it. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And a friend of mine, a lady that has become a friend of mine that I met through our breast explant journey, she was telling me about this book, and I noticed somebody else had mentioned this book as well. So if I hear a book a couple of times, I just go, okay, there's a message in there for me I need to hear. There's something in there I need to read. And I have a notes list in my phone called books, and I will just jot it down. And then every now and then I'll just do an order from Amazon or Booktopia, and I will go into my phone notes and just order all these books that I've been collecting. I'm like obsessed with books. And this chapter that I happened to read last night was on your energy, having infinite energy. And he says, what you'll see if you watch carefully is that you have a phenomenal amount of energy inside you. This energy is always available to you. At any moment, you can draw upon it. It just wells up and fills you from inside. When you're filled with this energy, you feel like you could take on the world. When it's flowing strongly, you can actually feel it coursing through you in waves. It gushes up spontaneously from deep inside and restores and replenishes and recharges you. The only reason you don't feel this energy all the time is because you block it. You block it by closing your heart, by closing your mind, and pulling yourself into a restrictive space inside. This closes you off from all the energy. When you close your heart or your mind, you hide in the darkness within you. There is no light, there is no energy, there is nothing flowing. The energy is still there, but it can't get in. And he spoke about an example. He gave this example of a guy and a girl having a breakup, right? And he said how you can break up with somebody and you can just feel so much heartache, and you can go into like this withdrawal, retreat, depressed state. And like the dishes pile up, you don't want to go anywhere, you don't want to do anything, you just sleep all day, you don't want to step foot out into the light of the world, you just want to stay hidden and just feel with your thoughts, feel with your emotions, and just your energy just completely changes or spirals downwards. He said you can be in that funk for like a week or whatever long. And then what happens if that guy or girl calls you back up and goes, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. Like, I need to make it work with you. I'll be over in an hour. Let's talk. And he goes, boom, you're out of bed. You're running around. You're cleaning your house. You're letting light in. Like your energy can shift in an instant. And it's not because of anything else except from this decision that you made in yourself. Like, oh my gosh, that person is coming over. I need to get out of this state now, and I need to clean myself up, go have a shower and sort myself out and run around and tidy up my house so I don't look like this depressed mess. And we would all relate to that in some way, shape or form throughout our life. And that's what he was saying. He was saying like there is this energy available within us, but you can block it. And he talks about like there are the centers that channel your energy flow. We know that as the chakras. When you close them, there's no energy. And when you open them, there is. And this energy, it's got so many different names. Like it's this life force energy, it's chi. In yoga it's shakti, or it could also be known as our spirit. And when you're experiencing that enthused, like you're feeling enthused, or you're feeling lit up by someone, or you're open, you can feel this energy inside of you. And the energy it's yours. Like it's your energy, it's your birthright, it's unlimited. You can call on it anytime you want. It has nothing to do with your age. This energy is just, it doesn't get old, it doesn't get tired, it doesn't need food. What it needs, he says, is openness and receptivity. The energy is equally available to anybody. It's equally available to everybody. When you close, you stop the energy from flowing. When you open, all the energy rushes up inside you. The only thing you have to know, this is what I found really interesting, like the only thing you have to know is that opening allows energy in and closing blocks it out. He says it is really that simple. There is a very simple method for staying open. You stay open by never closing, is what he talks about. And all you have to do is decide whether you are willing to stay open or whether you think it's worth closing. You can train yourself to forget how to close. Closing is a habit, and just like any other habit, it can be broken. And I was reading that last night, and then I was reading, I was thinking about reflecting on how I was feeling in class this morning, and thinking about energy, thinking about state. And I am somebody, everybody is so different, but I'm somebody that I tend to have a lot of energy. And I was reading that and I was going, do you know what? It's because I actually don't allow myself to close very often. I do have times where I sense people around me where I will close my energy, where I feel maybe they don't align. I don't trust them. I've had conversations with Tom before. I'm like, like I just don't feel intuitively they're the right people for you to be around. My intuition is telling me that, because I could feel my energy blocking when I was around them, and I could feel my energy withdrawing. So there's certain times where you need to close your energy 100%, and where you need to withdraw, your intuition tells you that to keep you safe as well. But I know from lots of rituals that I do, I've trained myself to keep my energy open majority of the time. Rituals like coming to class and doing my practice. And I know, because I have done exercise for like 20 years, and I'm not saying I do it every single day, but I move my body 90% of the time, every single day. And it can be through my walk or doing my class or whatever it's been over the years, it's been different. But I know that over the years, I've trained myself with movement to keep my energy open, to keep my energy flowing, and to help me feel happier in myself. And like my client said to me this morning, she said, listening to your podcast, I know that impacted to make me also feel happier. So when you think about what you're exposing yourself to, whether it's podcasts, whether it's books, and I've been a massive reader, and I read so much about, like this book, Untethered Soul. I read a lot about spirituality, about health, about fitness, about personal development, spiritual development, astrology, like anything I'm interested in. But it's something that, like health, fitness, business, finance, soul, all of those kind of personal development, or you may call them self-help books. I have been reading them for such a long time. And I know that has impacted my energy. That has helped keep my energy open, keep my heart open, and keep me feeling more uplifted in my day, so I'm less reactive. I know movement, I know books, I know podcasts, I know, getting out in nature. I know the people that I surround myself with helps uplift your energy and helps keep you open. And you can feel that within yourself. You can feel when you retract or when you allow yourself to open. And I guess the point of this episode is the impact that Pilates makes you happy. Yoga makes you, generally, like it can bring up a lot of emotion. I'm aware of that too. But movement makes you happy. So if you're not moving your body, how can you start to move your body? What kind of exercise can you bring in? Because you might feel this fear of I don't want to go to a class. Or, like I'm afraid because I won't know what to do. I'm afraid that people might look at me. You can do these things at home. You don't have to be in a class environment. No one is stopping you from getting out and going for a walk. But I know in that environment of what we cultivate in the studio, and there are other studios out there that do the same thing. There are other communities out there that do the same thing. So I'm not saying, just come to mine. I know it's amazing, but you know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of great communities and environments out there that help you uplift your energy. So movement and these environments have a way of helping you bring more happiness into your life. They have a way of helping you feel like you're radiating more of this amazing energy flowing through your body, that you get through life better. You're a happier person to be around. It opens you up when you're feeling good. You just have to study the law of attraction and look into books like Abraham Hicks, or I love the old school stuff, the Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murray, like the modern day books like The Secret as well, and they talk about this law of attraction and how you vibrate, and what you vibrate out at is what you attract into your life. So when you keep your vibration in a higher state, it allows you to attract more into your life. You attract the same people that you vibrate into your life as well. So if you want to attract an amazing relationship into your life, amazing friendships, how can you uplift your energy? If you want to attract more abundance into your life, how can you feel more abundant? Because like attracts like, energy attracts energy. So the more that you can raise and elevate your vibration, the more you will ripple that out into everyday life. Like you radiate it when, like I know for my daughter going and getting, like her new job, like she radiates this energy. And I see she always gets what she wants. A mantra I say to her all the time. I say to Brock too, like I have this mantra, like I always get what I want, not in an arrogant way, but in a way of expectancy. So when you elevate your energy, you elevate your confidence, you elevate your expectancy, you get more of what you want in life. So Pilates goes deeper than just the mat. Exercise goes deeper than just what you're doing for movement, what you're doing for a class. It elevates you out into the world in so many other ways. Your relationships, your finance, your career, what you do for fun. It gives you more joy. It gives you more enthusiasm so that you want to go and have more fun and you want to get more out of life. It connects you with your soul. I spoke about a podcast yesterday. Well, it was yesterday when I recorded it anyway, about soul speak, about connecting to your soul. What does your heart and soul want? It wants life experience. How can you give it more life experience? You raise your energy. How can you raise your energy? By what you're exposed to, by what you're doing for yourself every single day. Pilates makes you happy. I'm just going to keep repeating that. Pilates makes you happy because that's what I have been feeling today, and I know I'm going to have an amazing day. So that is what I wanted to leave you with, my friends. I wanted to leave you with that little inspiration about what can you do for your body to bring more elevation of energy and more happiness into your life. And I have nothing else to say. I think I've said it all. I'm going to go out for my walk now. And you've probably heard, I don't know if you've heard my stomach rumbling throughout this podcast. Oh my goodness. I am so hungry right now. So I'm going to go and have something to eat and go for my walk and have a beautiful Saturday. And I trust that you will have the most amazing day too, my friends. So much love and light to you as always. Mwah. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode and want more, feel free to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you listen to. You can also head over to earthyangels.com or join our private Facebook group, Earthy Angels Connect, for more community, blogs, updates, inspo, motivation, support, and to connect with a tribe of like-minded souls. And if you have a moment, we would be super grateful if you would love to leave a review. Sending you so much light and love, Angel.